Taking a deep breath. In a year from now, so October 2nd or 3rd, depending on what day it is and what country, um, 1 year from now, 2026, magic wand, anything's possible. So in our mind and in our emotions, anything is possible, which is really cool. Everything has gone as beautifully as you wanted it. Right for a few moments. What you will see, what will be happening in 1 year from now. Everything went great, best year ever. What will you see and how will you feel? If you're doing clients-based business, how many clients will you be seeing? What's your income? How does your body look? Who's around you? Try to get some sensory details like what will you be wearing, or how will you walk, or how will you gesture? This is a really good one. Who will say what to you? Ah, my partner's going to say, wow, you're amazing, or I can't believe you made that much money. Or like make it personal. Who specifically will say what to you when all of these other things are true? True, have come into being. You can put me in there saying, I knew you could do it. I always knew you could do it. And take note if if anybody comes up that would be less than totally supportive, if that happened to come up. And how do you feel? So look at that list of things. Oh my gosh, everything you wanted just happened, even if we don't know how, even if we don't know how. Three or four or five feelings. I feel boom and boom and boom. And if you choose to, put a circle around those feelings because those living those feelings can be um, practiced, can be chosen, can be installed right now. So that's kind of the whole premise of as if, right? There's a whole as if movement. So you just are successful. You are confident. You are free. You are happy. You are light. You are living in the vibration of it already happening before it happens. And you have raised yourself to that level where those things live. So it's much easier because that's where they live. That is the vibrational plane where these things are a natural match. And we can practice those right now without them happening. So thank yourself for that information of 1 year. And now take a breath, erase your internal, whatever, whiteboard. So that happened. Those things happened. That was a really good year. That was 2026. So now we're going to go to 2030. If that happened in 2026, like really, what could happen in 2030? What would be mm, totally understandable, totally feasible, coming from that starting point of this already happened? Wow. And you know how things have momentum. What could happen in 2030? And let's write about that for 3 moments, even if we don't know how. We're just playing, we're creating, we're using our magic wand. If that happened, hmm, then what? If we made that much money in 1 year, what would happen in 5 years? even if we don't know how. I'm hearing it's okay to stretch. I'm not sure who that's for. It's okay to stretch. We're just playing. It's okay. Any different feelings or notice feelings? Who would I need to be? What kind of a person would I need to be? Okay, and take a breath and finish that up. Okay, this is big. You ready? All right, so look at that 5 year, 5 year vision, 5 year, and bring it back to and put it into place at 1 year. What would need to happen for that to be in 1 year? Even if we don't know how, what would need, is there anything that would need to fall away? So when we enlarge the goal and or bring it closer, many pathways are eliminated. So usually most of us are, we have a default future. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to get a little better, and then I'm going to get a little better. But when we come from a future vision, many pathways will no longer work. So Benjamin Hardy talks about this all the time in his books, and he gives an example of his son was good at tennis, and so he was going to be a if he was going to play tennis in college, he was in high school, he could go to probably 1 to 100 different coaches. But if his intention was to play professionally, there would be maybe only two choices, right? If his vision is being a professional player, he could only do that. And he also talked about when he was a PhD student, he had the idea to write a book. So he had an email list of less than 200 people. So he's going to write a book. But he didn't want to just write a book and self-publish it, which anybody could do. He wanted to get one of the five big publishing companies, and he wanted a 5 figure contract. So he found a way to talk to somebody about how to do that. And he said, you have to have an email list of over 100,000. So he went and found a way to do that. He started blogging and did this. So he had an email list of 100,000 people, and he got that. But he got that coming from that bigger picture. So when we change what we're looking at and or the time frame, it's going to cut out a lot of possibilities of how we get there. So, and we don't necessarily even have to know. We can call on our team to help us. Is how would I do this in 1 year? I don't know. Sometimes it's just meeting one person. Sometimes one person can be like that wormhole, right? You could be totally unknown and then whatever. Somebody famous could say, we have to have blinds from Alyssa's company. And then the world wants them and you're flooded. And then your issues are going to be like, how do I keep up with the demand, right? Anything is possible, um, even if we don't know how. So it's just a fun thing to play with and listen to inner guidance about and to open to. Like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe we want that bigger, maybe we don't want that bigger. It's all okay, right? We're just playing. But isn't it an interesting experience to pull it back? And what would have to change? And how does that coincide or how does that commingle? Like for me, I'm going, oh, that's kind of what some of the guidance I've been getting that doesn't make sense. Like if I look at that bigger vision, I go, oh, well, I could see why that would make more sense.